Hi, it's Peter here. Photography is all about expressing yourself, telling stories and having fun. Letting go with the obsession of new gear will make you better. Feeling free of the obsession of new gear will make your imagination fly. When you let go the desire of new gear, you start seeing things that you can achieve instead of things that you miss. And that's a really important thing. We think too much about the images that we missed rather than the things that we can achieve with the existing gear. Define yourself and other photographers by the images they make instead of the gear that they use. This is a really important step of you getting to be a better photographer. All that matters is the photograph itself. Of course, it might be interesting to hear how the image was made and what gear was used. But when you start asking why, then you will be a lot better photographer. So why is a lot more important than how. But of course, how is a lot easier to learn. But why is the thing that you should learn. It's harder, I know. The why doesn't have to be something complicated. It can be a feeling of yours when you made the image. It might be a memory, a document of things that you saw on your photo walks, for example. So don't overthink about the why. I will talk about this a bit later also in the video. But of course, your images might be a part of a bigger story that you want to tell. Of course, then the why is a bit more complicated and more harder to achieve. But don't overthink about what the why is. And when you start asking yourself why, then I don't think you will make a bad photograph. Because there are no bad photographs. There are only photographs that don't fit to a certain thing. And if you don't have the thing, then the photograph might become a bad photograph. If it doesn't have any connection to anything, then it's just a snapshot. Which of course is nothing wrong making snapshots. But if you want to be a better photographer, ask yourself why every time before you click the shutter. Well, digital photography has changed the photography itself quite a bit. And it's not because of the medium, it's because the way we use it. We take too many photographs nowadays. And when you take too many photographs, there are two bad things about that. The first thing is that you forget the why. You're just snapping away and thinking about the why and the image later, which is not the way to do it. Think before you click the shutter. And then the second thing is, when we take a lot of photographs, the good ones kind of, you don't see them. They're just kind of lost in the vast amount of images. Because that's something also that you have to remember, is that picking the best ones and forget the rest is also a skill that you learn when you start asking yourself why. And that is important. It's not the medium itself, it's the way we behave, and the medium has made it possible, because back in the film era, you had the 24 or 36 photos in a row, and that's it. You had it. You had a limited amount of images that you could take, and that's why you asked yourself why a lot more than with digital. One good way could be to have a really small memory card, if you can still find them, and limit yourself with that. It would be great to have a memory card with only 24 images fits to a memory card. That would be so great, and that will make you ask why a lot more. And like I said, it will make you better if you do that. About picking the best ones. Next time you go out on a photo shoot, shoot as much as you like the way you normally do, but then pick only one image from that set and forget about the rest. Edit that and post that on somewhere, and try to learn to pick the best ones. What expresses your feeling? What was the most important thing that you saw, or how you felt, or what image expresses that the best? Try to do that. It doesn't have to be the technically best quality image that has the best sharpness or anything. It's all about feeling. Like Peter Adams, an American photographer, said that photography is about depth of feeling, not depth of field. And I think that's quite a good quote, and also is about the why. Once you have learned to pick the best one, then try to make a set of images. Pick 2 or 3 and see if they fit together, telling a story or expressing your feelings. And they are kind of like the same thing. If it expresses your feelings and tells a story about you on that, because in the end of the day, the photography is about you. That's the most important thing. Photograph for yourself. Don't photograph for others. Don't make images that you know that others will like. Make images that you like. Then you feel a lot better than doing the opposite. And let's talk more about the why. We've been talking about it quite a lot. But I want to remind you that before you click the shutter, ask yourself why. Or when you're walking around, you see things, ask yourself why you want to make that image. Is it for yourself? Is that image expressing your feelings? Is it telling a story? Or do you want to make others tell you that it's a good photograph? And when you start asking yourself why, the other one, which I mean the others, will start to appreciate your photographs. Because like I said, if you start asking yourself why, in the end of the day, there are no bad photographs. And it's all about shifting your state of mind from how to why for your own photography, and also when you look at other work, other people's photographs that they have been making. Ask yourself why this photograph was made. That will make you a lot better when you start thinking. If your first thought is how this was made, you're a wrong path. Try to shift it to why. And then one important note about overthinking the why. Remember that your photograph doesn't have to change the world. Of course, if it does, it's a great thing. But that's not the purpose for every one of us. There are photojournalists that do that. We're hobbyists and other type of professionals. The why for us can be something different. We might have a busy week, and then on the weekend we might take a photo walk, and that is the why. We are relaxing, we are having a great hobby, and we're enjoying photography, we're having fun. And that is something that we must remember. We don't forget that it's a hobby and it's supposed to give us pleasure and having fun. That can be the why. But of course, why can be a bigger story too. But there is endless possibilities. But never underestimate the good feeling that you can achieve when photographing. And it's not always about the image. It can be also about having fun, and it doesn't matter if you don't come out with good images. The why can be the good feeling that you get from that. And if you start stressing about and need to get that perfect shot every time, you will probably miss it. When you're relaxing and start, thinking more about the why, then you will get better. If you concentrate on the how, that's not good. And what I'm trying to say is that the why is personal for you. If it resonates with others can see the why, then of course it's a bonus. And this will happen, like I already said, when you start thinking about your own photography and thinking about the why for others will happen. And they will start to appreciate your photography. I remember back in the 90s when my goal is to make technically perfect images for clients in a studio. It was totally different work that I do now. And that started to bother me because I was making photographs for the others. And like I think I've said this before in one of my videos, that I thought that I've been making the same image for 20 years, almost 20 years back then. Then I started to think about this and think about the why a bit more. And I took some workshops by Anders Petersen, Aron Rafael Minkkinen, and a Finnish photographer, Stefan Bremer, for example. And started also looking at photo books, which I have quite a bit, which you probably know. And found a lot of good photographers. And one especially that resonated was Daido Moriyama. And this book, Remix, was something that really opened my eyes about the why. And kind of freed me about the obsession of perfect technical image quality, which is actually a secondary thing. The style of Daido Moriyama is really raw. He is a Japanese photographer. It really opened my eyes. And a good way to shift your mind from how to why is look at other people's or other photographers' work. And for me, books are the best way. I like to look at prints. It's just something. Of course, you can find new work online and then maybe find some books. That's what I do. And I think that's a good way of shifting your mind and trying to get inspired by others or other people's works, other photographers' work. But remember, it doesn't mean that you have to take the same type of images, but just to feel the state of mind that they might have had and, read about them, maybe read some biographies of photographers. That's another good thing to get into the why, because there are also stories about their lives and that tells them, and they tell why they did something. I hope you enjoyed this a bit different videos. I've made these types before, but not lately. There's been a lot of new gear and I've kind of fallen into that how thing and obsessed about new gear. And this is also a wake-up call for me, because I made so many videos about OM1 camera lately, and I wanted to go back to the basics and talk about the why. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and here are some more videos about the same subject. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now.